killing Angstrom. But Angstrom still turned out to be alive. Angstrom opens a portal that takes him to an alien dimension, and tells them to fix him. Many months later, Angstrom decided to do everything in his power to get his revenge on Invincible. He recruited Invincibles from other dimensions and sends them to different countries to destroy everything in their path. People will think it's the real Invincible that did it, which is Angstrom's plan, to make the people fear and hate Invincible. On the other hand, Eve noticed Mark is still worried over what happened to Powerplex. None of what happened to him was his fault, but he still feels guilty about it. Powerplex's sister and niece died because of his fight with his dad, and Powerplex lost his wife and baby because of Invincible fight with him. Eve decided to cancel dinner with her parents again tonight, which seems so suspicious to Mark. He asks her why he doesn't want him to meet her parents. In fact, she only allows him to come to her house when her parents are not around. Eve explains that her parents are problematic. She really has a terrible parent, which Mark can also relate to, because he had the worst dad in the world. During their conversation, Eve gets an emergency call. We see one of the Invincibles from another dimension destroying the city prison. Another one destroys the White House. Another one destroys every religious building in the city. Meanwhile, Rex helps Ray to park into her new apartment. Just after they had a talk that almost led them kissing to her bedroom, a very massive explosion sound gets their attention. Rex and Ray immediately suits up, but Rex tells her not to unquit on her first day of not being a superhero. He tells her that if the challenges are bad he will call her for assistance, and runs to where the explosion is happening. Mark arrives at the prison to see the whole place in a mess. But what shocks him was when he sees an Invincible from another dimension. Mark asks him how he was able to get here, but the Invincible from another dimension replies with violence. Just as he keeps punching Mark repeatedly, Mark stops holding back and makes him unconscious with one slap. Some superheroes saw Mark and went to attack him thinking he was one of the bad Invincible who came from different dimensions. He tries to explain to them but they just kept punching. Powerplex, who is now free from prison, sees them punching Mark and decided to go join them, but he is shocked to see another Mark. That one doesn't hold back on him, and sends him flying like a piece of shit. The news is now all around the world that multiple superhumans all resembling Invincible are wreaking havoc in cities all around the world. The reporter says it's unclear why the attacks is happening or how long they will continue, but police has told everyone to stay indoors and stay hidden. Oliver immediately suits up to go and help Mark. Debbie stops him saying he is too young and the Invincibles from other dimensions will kill him, but Oliver tells her that she has always told him to care about people, and that's what he is trying to do. Debbie decided to let him go, but tells Oliver that those other Invincibles might come to her house, and instructs him not to return home until the war is over. As for her, she's going somewhere safe. Another Invincible from alternate dimensions attacked Cecil's basement, but his reanimants were able to kill him, but that came with a lot of damage. Donald explains to Cecil what is happening, and tells him that there are at least 18 Invincibles from another dimensions in their world. They are just destroying whatever they can with no pattern or plan, but the good news is those Invincibles are not as strong as theirs, which means they have a chance on taking them down. Oliver saves every citizen in the town as possible. He sees Mark in the sky and happily flies to meet him, but realizes he is an Invincible from another dimension. Eve tells the real Mark that they should just take down those Invincibles one by one, and figure out who is responsible for all of these. Superheroes from different dimensions are deployed to stop the Invincibles, and this whole situation suddenly turned into a world war. Just as Mark and Eve was busy fighting at the Invincibles, another one shows up to assist. Mark tells Eve to go and let him handle it, because this would be so dangerous for her. Eve refuses to let him fight the two alone. During the fight, one of the Invincible breaks her leg. Mark realizes he's in a serious trouble, but luckily, Cecil shows up with his reanimants and tells Mark to escape as he helps fight those Invincibles. Donald tells Cecil that he should let him go and fight, because with his metallic body, he will be more useful in the fight than in here. Cecil is hesitant at first, but since he has a way to bring Donald back to life in case he gets killed, he allows him to go fight. Another Invincible attacks the Guardian of the Globe headquarters, but this one was just having... He killed Shape Smith, while the rest was just so easy for him to fight. When he decided to stop playing with them, he beheads Immortal and uses his head to kill Duplicate Girl. Another Invincible attacks Rudy and his robots, while Monster Girl is unconscious. Rex shows up to fight the Invincible. He tells them to escape while he holds the Invincible, and tells them to pass a message to Ray on how he loves her. He gives the Invincible a really tough fight, but that didn't last for long. Just as the Invincible holds his neck to kill him, Rex explodes himself to kill the Invincible. Actually, this episode is one of the tragic episodes ever. Every superhero lost at least one person they loved. Cecil goes to meet Mark at the hospital and tells him to leave Eve, because right now the world needs him the most. Oliver is out there, even his mother is out there, but Mark is still so afraid to leave Eve alone at the hospital, because those other Invincibles might come to kill her to get it in. Just about 6 Invincibles are still alive, and they successfully set the world on fire. Seeing this, Angstrom decided to go along with his second plan. He tells the remaining Invincibles to meet him at Debbie's house. He asks them to find Mark and bring him to him. But the other Invincibles don't want to work with him anymore, as his stupid plan got most of them killed. And the deal was they help him, and he will help them take over a bunch of others' dimensions. They tell Angstrom they are done working for him, and threatens he should give them their dimensions, or they will kill him. Angstrom, in retaliation, sends them to an empty dimension to trap them there. While Mark still watches Eve, Cecil tells him that they have found where the mastermind behind this whole destruction is, and is no other person but Angstrom. Mark attacks Angstrom and tries to take him down. Mark appears to know all Angstrom tricks as he dodged all the portals Angstrom tried to push him into. But Angstrom, who knew this could possibly happen, brings some machines and uses it to fight Mark. He tries to use the machines to push Mark to another dimension, so he can have the chance to destroy everyone Mark cares about. Mark managed to overpower the machines, and goes to choke Armstrong, asking if this is what he wanted. So many deaths just to get back at him. Oliver shows up and tells Mark to immediately kill Angstrom before he escapes. Mark decided to kill him, but Armstrong is able to escape through one of his portal. Mark ripped out one of his arm trying to stop him from escaping. Angstrom tells the technicians to fix his arm, but they refused. They were the ones who saved Angstrom, which Mark almost killed him. Angstrom made a deal with them, but he failed to honor it. They tell him to work for them and they will fix his arm, but if he refuses, they will use his body to their advantage. While Mark goes back to the hospital to watch over Eve, Cecil shows up and tells him not to blame himself for anything. He tells him that Debbie is safe because she is in her boyfriend's house, and Eve's parents are coming to the hospital to watch over her. He wants Mark to follow him to New York as his help is needed there. Cecil teleports Mark to New York, where he reunites with Oliver. Powerplex sees Mark and angrily attacks Mark, blaming him for all the deaths and chaos that happened so far. Oliver punches Powerplex and tells him to leave his brother alone, but Mark tells him not to hurt Powerplex. They both handcuffed him, and Cecil tells one of his heroes to take him to prison. Immortal is brought back to life, and he asks Duplicate Girl to be his wife, which she agrees to. Immortal and Duplicate Girl is retiring to focus on their marriage. Darkwing is missing, Monster Girl is injured. In fact, most of the heroes are injured and out of action, and their enemies won't be kind enough to take a break while they rebuild. Cecil proposes to Mark to lead the Guardians, but he refuses, but anytime Cecil needs him, he should give him a call. Cecil tells Mark that if he needs someone to talk to, that he should give him a call, but Mark replies he is the last person he wants to talk to, but thanks Cecil for his help so far. Mark went back to New York and decided to go help the injured people, but Conquest shows up and tells Mark to stand ready for his arrival. They both charged towards each other, and that was how the episode ended. Thank you for watching, guys. If you love animation movies, please subscribe to this channel and keep watching. Bye.